Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Monday, July 21st. It is 6:25 right now. We got market opening up in about 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish marking up the nearby liquidity here, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. All right. It's gonna mark up the nearby ones because I don't know if it's gonna really get pushed out that far with it being Monday and all. Hey Daniel, morning. Drop down to the 1 hour. Dropping down to the 30 minute. 15 minute. Down to the 10 minute, and back down to the 1 minute here. All right, looks good. So good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, July 21st. It is 6:27 right now. We got market opening up in about 3 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is at 44,633. Closest level of liquidity below is at 44,611. Looking over here, let me zoom out a little bit. So looking at the supply zone, we have the closest supply zone up here, next zone above it, demand zone right here, next zone below it down here. So we're not super close to it, but we're close enough. With that said, we'll be looking for price to maybe push up to these areas and then possibly bounce off those areas when price gets to those points. Looking over here at my daily outlook. So let's take a look at the weekly outlook first. If you guys didn't see this, I posted this up last night. Weekly outlook is cautiously bullish. Rationale is prices holding above major moving averages with a strong bullish structure on the higher time frames. While momentum is cooled slightly, MACD slowing, RSI near overbought. There's no clear sign of reversal, only consolidation below all-time highs. Minor dips are likely to be bought unless macro events derail sentiment. So we'll see what happens with the news today. I believe Powell spoke this morning. And then here's my overall outlook for the day. Key bias for today is neutral to slightly bullish. Pre-market futures indicate a modest bounce from Friday's pullback. Traders anticipate a volatility pickup with upcoming earnings and tariff noise. YM is consolidating near all-time highs, showing short-term bullish tone, but facing resistance. So we'll see what happens here when market opens up. I've marked up the supply and demand, so we have something to look out for there as price continues to move along. Looking over here at the overall trend, the 1 minute is now bullish. Price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling to the upside. The 5 minute here is still bearish, so this is going to be kind of lagging back a little bit. And the 15 minute over here is neutral. So with that said, I'm going to be a little selective with my entries for today because we don't really have an overall trend for the moment. But once price kind of finds its groove and it starts moving that direction, I'll start looking for trades in that specific direction. But our overall bias for today is bullish, neutral to bullish. The overall trend here is more of a neutral. 1 minute's bullish, 5 minutes bearish, 15 minute is bullish neutral. So, all right, guys, we got market opening up shortly. If you guys are looking to take the regular breakout, the regular momentum breakout, it looks like it's going to be a sell for today for the, let's see, for the orb over here. So the orb is not ready yet, but we'll see what happens here shortly when market opens up. We got market opening up in about 15 seconds. Looking over here at the news for today. Actually, Powell's not speaking today. Powell's speaking tomorrow. speaking tomorrow at 5:30. For today, we don't really have much news, so volatility may stay a little flat, a little low. And we'll see what happens here shortly. So market is now open, guys. We're getting this huge spike right here on open, as you guys can see. This is typical for Monday. This is why we try to be a little more careful on a Monday trading day because there's a lot of uncertainty with regards to direction of price and with volatility. So we're going to see. Daniel, I just saw your message. Daniel said, "Not gonna lie, you're the most rested looking new dad I've ever seen. All of my friends look haggard in the mornings. I know. I'm on a I've gotten my daughter on a pretty solid sleep schedule, so I get like about 4 hours of sleep now, opposed to like the 1 hour to 30 minutes of sleep last week and the week before that. So it's getting better. Hopefully it stays this way, but we'll see as time passes. But all right, guys, market is now open. You can see here, price is spiking around quite a bit. I'm going to mark up opening price, which is right here. All right, so this is opening price. You guys can see we have some pretty big spikes back and forth. It's a little tricky right now how market's starting to look. We got liquidity right here, which kind of got pushed up a little bit. So I'll just adapt this to up here. So if you guys are looking to take the orb, guys, this is going to be the upper level of the orb unless price pushes up higher. And it looks like this is going to be the lower level of the orb. So we'll see what happens here. So here's a problem with the orb if you guys are going to be taking this up. So if you guys plan on taking this orb entry right here, guys, the entry is going to have to go into the supply zone right there, which is very tricky because you might get a fake out reversal there. All right, if you guys are looking to take the orb, guys, the orb you need price breaking close above 44,661 and retest. But again, like I just said right now, guys, this is going to be a really tricky orb to be taking because if you take this orb right here, you're going to have to break past the supply zone right here, which is going to be really tricky. This is going to be an area of manipulation. So we got liquidity pushes through these areas. Again, if you guys want to take these trades, take Metro and risk, I think I'm going to hold off on this right now, guys. I don't think this is going to be a really good entry for me to take right now. You guys can see how price is spiking right back down. It came up right here, bounced directly off the supply zone. This is what I'd be worried about if I'm taking any buys here. You can see right there, there's not going to be an orb entry yet. There might be an orb entry here for a sell, actually. So if price breaks and closes below this point, there's probably going to be an orb entry for a sell here instead. All right, so we don't have a break and close below here yet. Yeah, this market's a little too crazy for me right now. So I'm going to hold off on entries at the moment. Again, if you guys want to take these entries, feel free. Hey, Sam, morning. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens here shortly. Let me see what's here in the chat. Morning, Maria. Morning, Shiv. Morning, Lila. Morning, Karen. Morning, Chris. Morning, guys. All right, looks like everybody's here so far. Again, if you guys are looking to take the orb, guys, these are the two levels of orb here. We have the lower orb, uh, the orb range low, which is at 44,616, and we have the orb range high over here, which is at 44,661. The problem with current price right now, as you guys can see, is that there's not really much of a direction, right? Price is spiking back and forth. This is normal for a Monday, so don't be super surprised that this is happening because this is just typical Monday for us. And typically the orb doesn't work very well on Mondays and Fridays anyways, from the data. So we'll see what happens here shortly in a few. There's still no orb entry here yet. Again, if you guys are looking to take that orb, you're looking for price to break and close above 44,661 and for it to climb up higher from there. The orb for a buy looks good. The only problem here that I'm looking at, that I'm seeing, is that we have the supply zone right here, right? So We've had sweeps right here on both ends. We had a sweep right here from this top end. If anybody look to take that there. I mean, obviously not one I would take, but you're just going for a quick 20-point sweep. And there's a sweep from down here as well, from this higher low from earlier this morning. All right, looks like we might get an orb entry right here for a sell. Again, guys, take this at your own risk. I'm probably not going to be taking this right here. If this candle breaks and closes below this blue line right here, which is at 44,616, you're going to look for the retest. As soon as this closes below, you're going to put a sell limit order right here at 44,616. Wait for that to fill and then push back down lower. Yeah, the sells here are going to be tricky because my overall bias for today is bullish and my weekly bias is bullish as well. So I don't necessarily, I'm not looking for a sell here per se. If it comes up, it comes up, but I'm probably not going to be taking this here. I mean, the sell does look better than the buys here because of the supply zone, but I'm still not convinced to take here a sell because the overall trend here is still, for the most part, kind of bullish. So, all right, guys, if you guys want to take this here as an orb, your pending order would be right here at 44,616. If you want to take it as an original, just regular orb, you can enter for a sell right here where price is currently at. Price closed right here at 44,606. So this would be the entry for the regular orb. If you're looking for the break and retest level is going to be right here at 44,616. One thing to look out for here, guys, is that if price pushes past the target over here, 40 points, then the orb break and retest is pretty much done with. So we'll see what happens here in a few. Again, I'm not really looking for anything here specific, but the orb here is a sell if anybody's looking to take that 2-minute orb. So not in that position yet. I'll continue watching for opportunities over here. You know, if this is the case and price continues to climb down lower, then fine, so be it. We also have a high-low break and retest right here, guys. There's a high-low break and retest currently running for a sell. So price broke and closed below this lower high. It retested on this following candle and it's pushing down lower right there. The problem with this here is that we're going to be at the demand zone, right? So this is exactly the same problem that we had up here. We had the supply zone right here where price got manipulated, and then we have the demand zone right here where price could possibly get manipulated. Once price reaches 30 points, again, you should move your stop loss and profit to 10 points. You don't have to, but that's kind of the parameters that I'm using here for my strategy. So we got price coming down right here. We got a couple trades running alongside each other. We have an MPSV2 running right here as well. So we got an MPSV2 running right alongside this high-low break and retest. We got two entries right here running active. Clean this up a little bit. All right, tricky market today, guys. Very choppy. If you guys are looking to catch a sweep level is going to be down here at the lower end of the demand zone. So this is a sweep that I would actually look to take. Because at this point right here, this sweep is going to be lined up with confluence. So what we might get here, and this is kind of what I'm seeing to happen here, is price may push down lower, may sweep from this point and push right back up. So we'll see what happens here shortly. Again, I'm not in any positions here, guys. So I'll clean this up in a few if this doesn't end up playing out. We're just in this huge range at the moment, guys. Looks like there's another sweep that happened right here off this lower low. So the same thing we talked about earlier, there's just sweeps happening left and right. We're in a sideways market right now, so sweeps are probably going to be your best friend, unless price starts to move directional. Once it starts moving directional, you can start looking for those directional entries. But right now, looks like the sweeps might be your best option. Yeah, so here's my daily playbook. For my directional entries, I'm looking for high-low break and retest. That's what's currently running right here alongside the MPSV2. We're not really in a directional market, so the directional strategies aren't really going to be very useful, right? Looking over here at the sweep, that's going to be for a sideways strategy, which is the type of market that we're currently in right now. So sweeps are probably going to be your better option. Sweeps and V1 variations. Also breakouts. So let's see. I think the breakout here, I mean, the breakout's probably still running, the original breakout. So this is the open breakout. It was for a sell. Yeah, it's still technically running right there, 50-50. Again, I'm not in any of these positions here, but the breakout's still running right now for a sell right there. I'm gonna take these off, clean this up a little bit. I'm not in any positions here. I'm just showing you guys what's come up so far. Going back to the orb. So the orb over here filled. I'm not in the orb though. Like I said earlier, guys, I didn't like the orb here for a sell because my bias for today was bullish, right? So we had the daily outlook, which was neutral to slightly bullish. We have the weekly outlook, or we have the daily outlook, which is neutral to slightly bullish. We have the weekly outlook, which is cautiously bullish. And we have the monthly outlook, which is bullish with caution. So overall, we're still looking for bullish market here. Um, and the overall trend here is also, I mean, it's starting to shift a little bit, but it's not confirmed. So we'll see what happens in a few. I'm still not looking for any entries here at the moment, but I think the best option here would probably be the sweep, which would be right here at 44,562. Let's see, Glenn is asking, yeah. So there's a sweep right here at 44,562. It's also within the demand zone and it's also at the Asia low. So we got like three confluences right there, right? If anybody's looking to catch that. So this could be a possible sweep area. The only problem with a sweep here, guys, is that if price continues to drop lower, because I mean, obvious reasons here, you guys can see how the trend here is starting to shift bearish, right? So this is the thing. If you go for that sweep there, you might be catching a falling knife. It does look like a good sweep zone, but you might be catching a falling knife here because price might turn into a trend to the downside. So just keep that in mind. If you guys want to take that sweep, this is probably going to be the better sweep option that's available right now, because this does have a confluence with it. The only thing is if this trend starts to shift to the downside, then that's where it's going to be a problem, right? Because this thing could just break through and then maybe come back up. Or the sweep might be perfect, right? Sweep might come down, bounce off the sessions right there, and then come right back up immediately. Thing is, your stop's going to be pretty tight, so it kind of depends on how wide your stop is and how high the volatility is here. There's no catalyst for today, so there's no news today. If you guys see over here, we have CB leading index, which is it's a low impact news event at 7 o'clock. It's not really structured to move price very heavily. All right, so we are still just waiting here for price to do something. It's doing this back and forth, as we can see. You got a little bit of a ranging consolidation here. All right, so price is pulling down. Again, if you guys want to take this sweep here, I'm not going to take it yet. I'm going to hold off on it because, like I said, the market here is just not very consistent. But if you guys want to take that sweep, it's going to be at 44,562. Hasn't filled yet. It's getting close to it. See, here's the thing. Price might sweep before it gets to that point. It looks like it's already sweeping before it got to the liquidity down there. Pretty much came down, bounced off the demand zone. But this is the pattern you were looking for, right? Bounce off. Yeah. Missed the sweep just by a little bit. I don't think I would go for 40 points on the sweep, though. I'd probably just go for a quick 20 points. I'd go based off the ATR. Yeah, it got really close to that sweep point right there, guys. Probably missed it by, portion of a point, maybe 1 point. All right, there's actually a high-low break and retest that's currently running. Again, I wouldn't take it because it's at the demand zone right here. Man, this market is kind of tricky. It's tricky because there's a lot of areas of manipulation that are nearby. For one, the volatility is very low. ATR is currently at 21. For two, we have areas of manipulation on both sides, right? We have the demand zone right here. You can see how price is respecting the demand zone, bounce directly off it. And then same with this up here. When we're trying to take buys up here, we got price pushing up to the supply zone and it bounces directly off it. So it's really tricky because we can't really take entries within these lower areas right here. We can trade in the middle, but trading within these lower areas right here in these upper areas, I would only look for sweeps. I wouldn't take directional moves past those areas. So we'll keep looking for opportunities here for entry, but again, we're kind of sitting in between the supply and demand zone right here. We got a supply which is above, we have a demand zone which is below. It's acting as supply and as pretty much support and resistance. We just got a big range right here. Big back and forth range. So unfortunately, guys, that sweep right there did not get filled. It got really close to it. It looks like Sam here caught it though. So Sam over here caught it. He got it, got in for 3 pips earlier for full TP. Nice work, Sam. And we'll continue watching to see what else comes up next. Let's take a look at the orb, guys. So the orb did hit full TP right there, if anybody caught that. So the orb hit full TP right there for itself. Price came down, retraced, filled the entry right there, and it came back down pretty sharply. Um, I was tempted to get into this, but again, like I said earlier, it was tricky because of the supply zone down here, 44,580. Yeah, 44,580 is a little tricky right there. Looks like Chris caught it. So nice work, Chris. Caught it for 40 points with a small contract size. That's smart. I would have done the same thing. I've gotten burned trading at the demand zone. This is what happened 2 weeks ago, right? So if you guys remember, there was an orb entry that came up. There was a demand zone, which is below here. And what happened is price faked out and I got stopped out of that trade. So I didn't want to get faked out again on a trade like that. So I avoided that specific entry because we did have a red flag right there. It's not really a red flag, but it's an area of manipulation. Thankfully, this thing pushed past it. Like you can see over here, this thing pushed past the demand zone because if it happened like this over here, the supply where it bounced directly off it, the position could have been in trouble, of course, because 580 would have been right here. It would have gone to really close. Yeah, it would have gone to 36 and it would have reversed back to the upside. So let's see what happens here. Visuals had short from 44,613 on the 2-minute orb. 44,613. Nice. Yeah, so visual got in from right here on his tick chart. Nice work, visual. I'm kind of tempted. I'm going to do that now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add another tab with a tick chart. All right. Let's see. It was at 44,616. Let's see where the highs were from here. So 44,670. 44,661. Oh, that's weird. So I'm looking at the tick chart. I don't know if my tick chart is wrong, but it looks like it probably would have broken for a buy here. I'm just curious. I'm gonna use this as a confluence, but not for actual entry. But yeah, 'cause it looks like the 44,661 on the 632.22 candle. Looks like it broke past there. I'll take a look at that. I just want to use this the tick chart as a confluence because maybe we can sharpen our entry a little more, but I'll follow it. Glad you caught that trade with Chris. I just saw your message on the Zoom. Yeah, the I was tempted to get into it when I saw it pull back like this because it hasn't hit the. So here's the difference. When price pushes past here and gets down to the 40 already, then I'm usually out of the position. Not really, I don't bother looking at it at all. But because price pulled back right here, I was like, okay, this might be a good setup. The only problem is that the trend here wasn't very bearish and the daily outlook wasn't very directional either. So I kind of just held off on that, but I'm glad you guys caught that right there. Did you get that one too, Sam, for the orb? Nice. Visual said, Sean, for tick chart, you have to use high kind of she candles to avoid false breaks. Oh, okay, got you. Okay, that makes sense now. Let me switch these to high kind of she candles then. Weird, they don't have high kind of she here for Ninja Trader, which I thought they would. That's okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense though, because the high kind of she is pretty smooth. Nice. Sam caught trades. There are two winning trades today. Different Sam. Sam Wilkinson and Sam S. Yeah, no. Sam S or Sam Wilkinson didn't take the orb, but Sam S did. Nice work. So Sam S caught two winning trades today. Solid. Looks like he took the orb and he took the sweep. Nice. Solid work, Sam. Yeah, I think we have like four Sams in here, guys. So uh if I'm asking you something and it's something that you didn't do, I'm probably not referring to you. But yeah, nice work on other Sam though. Sam W catching the other trades right there as well with the sweeps. Yeah, it looks like both of you guys caught the sweeps there. So nice work. I was tempted to get into the sweep here, but it never filled. I mean, the sweep here is a little too low. The other sweep here would be a little higher on this area here. So either area here, I mean, this is like a good market to take sweeps. As you guys can see, there's not really too much going on. We're getting a lot of back and forth here. So whenever market's doing this back and forth, this is a perfect market to take sweeps. You just got to make sure that you have confluences to line up with your analysis. Sam W said, for me, it'll ruin my consistency rule, but happy guys scoring orbs. Yeah, no, definitely, Sam. I agree. Visual said Ninja has H data series. Okay, thanks. Appreciate that, bro. I'm still trying to figure out how Ninja Trader works. Try to set it up here. Data series. There we go. Weird. I heard like a weird noise right now. Here, let's see. All right, we got price pushing right back up over here, guys. If anybody's looking at taking the opportunities here for entries for a buy, again, we're going to be stuck within the supply zone, so this is going to be a tricky area to be taking trades, but we'll kind of see what happens here as price moves along. Um, there we go. Cool, thanks. I got it visual. The high kind of she. Nice. This is actually a pretty nice setup right here with the high kind of she. All right, guys, we got price pushing up right here. We're flipping back to our bullish bias, which I confirmed earlier. So this is what we've been looking for. We've been looking for price to push up higher because that's where my daily outlook is. It was slightly bullish. Weekly outlook was cautiously bullish, and the monthly outlook was bullish with caution. So we're back up to this bullish trend, or not yet. It's almost there. If these candles here do close, so the 15-minute has about 2 minutes left on the candle. If this closes above this area, then we're getting a confirmation of a bullish trend. You guys can see here, this is starting to push up to where we expect it to go to. So this morning, this is what I was expecting. I was expecting price to fly up and then stay up here. And we're now kind of just waiting for this here to play through. I'm gonna check this real quick. I'm trading Verizon earnings for the day. Trying to see where should I get out from. Let me go back over here. Verizon raises 25/20 earnings quarterly beat. $467. It's pretty far up. All right. Or 45. I think I'm gonna pull out of this at $44. That'll probably give me a couple $1,000 in profit. Another day. Got to get out of this position at $44 up here. That's not too bad. Maybe about $3. So make about 330 per share. Okay, let's go back to YM, guys. All right, so price is pushing up. We had a high-low break and retest around this area over here. MPSV2 as well. We had a couple entries here that lined up with each other, guys. So we had so looking at this buy signal here, price pushed up. We had a buy signal, price pushed up, retracement, continuation right there. This is an MPSV2 to the upside. Like I said earlier, I mean, these entries are very tricky because we're currently within the supply zone right now. So this isn't the best area to be taking entries. I wouldn't personally take them, but if you guys do want to take them, feel free to take them at your own risk. I'm gonna try to clean this up as much as I can. There you go. We got it pretty much cleaned up right there for the most part. So here's like a couple of things that you guys want to be careful for. Because just because price is above this area doesn't mean price is going to continue climbing up just yet. We might get here as a possible fake out, right? So price may push up to this area and then it might come right back down. This is going to be the key area to focus on right here. This middle area right here is where price is likely to pull back to. So, you might get price to push above the supply, then it might come right back down. You might get price to push below the demand, and it might come right back up. It's just a couple of things here to look at and be careful for. Today's the first day of the week, guys, so I'm not really forcing anything here. I don't need to force anything. We're pretty early, so if you guys want to take this here as an MPSV2, it's currently running. Again, if price reaches 30 points in profit right here, I recommend you move your stop loss in profit to 10 points. That's how my trades work. If you guys don't want to, feel free to hold on to it for the full move, but we'll follow here and we'll see where it ends up going. But for me, I am just sitting back and waiting, guys. No need for me to force anything here. Kind of just waiting for something to really come up. Nice. Chris also got the high-low break and retest for 40 points as well. Nice work, Chris. Yeah, Chris is on fire today. Yeah, there's a high-low break and retest right here. He caught this one, it looks like. So there's two entries running alongside each other here again. We have the MPSV2 and we have the high-low break and retest right here. So back-to-back full TPs right there, guys. Right here we had the high-low break and retest. This was a tricky area because we had a bunch of red flags, right? Sessions, supply zone, and then right here we had the MPSV2. So there's a lot of good entries that are coming up today so far, guys. So far, so good. Ton of opportunities here that keep presenting themselves. They're just not in those key areas that I'm really looking for. I'm looking for quality entries here. These are kind of tricky because we do have red flags and we have the sessions and we also have supply up here. So nice work. Shifts at 44 or 1432 higher high. Buy limit entry at 40, 1457 hit, right, Sean? 1432. Um, 1432. I know you're on a different time zone. Is it 632 right here, Shiv? Is where you're talking about? So right here, yeah, the fill would be right here on this. This was the opening candle though, so I mean, I wouldn't be looking for entry, but yes, that'd be a high-low break and retest off this higher high. So price broke and closed right here on this green candle, and then it retested right here on the red candle right after it. So the entry would have been, yeah, right there. Shiv said, oh no, I mean using that for the most recent breakout. Um, sorry, Shiv, I'm not confused. So are you talking, well, which breakout are you talking about? The five. So you're talking about this over here? Because it already broke over here. So this wouldn't be, if you're talking about this higher high, the break would have been right here. So there's no entry over here. You have to use the closest high low. So this is already irrelevant. I mean, this would have been irrelevant to begin with because you wouldn't use a pre-market high. So, I mean, if you're using the pre-market high, your entry would have happened right here. But you're saying six. Are you talking about this one now? Sorry, I'm like confused because you confirmed this one. Are you talking about this one right here, right? Because now I'm looking at this one. Earlier I said this one, you said yeah, so I thought you were talking about this one. But I'm assuming this is the one you're talking about now. Because this is the one that was a high-low break and retest. This is the one that Chris took. So if this is the one you're referring to, then yes, that's the entry right there. That's the one I marked up, which should be this one. All right, so there's no other entries here right now, guys. Looks like price here might fake out and pull right back into the range. Um, Other than that, there's nothing else to look at here at the moment. Price pretty much pulled up to this upper supply zone, rejected directly off it, and now it's coming back into this lower area. So we'll see. But like going back to that entry that you were just talking about, Shiv, I mean, I wouldn't take that one because it was right at the sessions. So yeah, it was a setup nonetheless. This was a high-low break and retest, but there was just a lot of red flags here. There was the Asia high, and then there was also the supply zone around this area. Yeah, exactly. That's the same one I marked up right here, Shiv. Yeah, so your markup right here, that's where it broke. Um, I mean, that's where the line would be. Yeah. Not sure what this line's for, but yes, this is the high that broke past it because there was no highs in between it. Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's where the stop is. Yeah. It's the same thing that I marked up here. So your markup lines up exactly with my markup right here for the setup. Yeah, that's right. So price broke past this higher high right there, retested right there at that level. That's where your limit order would be waiting, and it filled it and pushed up higher. And that's what hit the target there. I was tempted to look at that, but like I said earlier, it's just not really the area where I want to be trading at. I don't even know if I'll get any entries for today, guys, honestly, because I'm looking at where price is currently sitting right here. The only way for me to really feel comfortable about taking an entry is that I need price to break past the supply zone right here and give me a buy entry from up here, which I don't know what will happen by today. If anything, maybe up here. So if we get a new higher high that pushes up higher, like breaks past there, or retest, pushes up higher, possibly. But I don't know if this is going to continue pushing because the volatility is so low. We're currently at 20 ATR. And this is the stock trade that I'm running for today, guys. This is the earnings move that I have. I'm currently up a couple $1,000. I should have bought more shares. I plan to buy more shares on here. I was going to buy another double share, so I'd be up double right now, but I just couldn't get into the price that I wanted to on Friday. But it's all good. I'm sitting on 16,069 in cash that I was supposed to put into this Verizon move, but I'll take what I can get right here. Still pretty solid. Let me see what else I got here that's open. AT&T at 28. All right, this is probably gonna close me out soon too. Where's Intel at? I've been holding on to this one forever. I'm trying to get out of this trade here too. Probably not going to be able to get at it until anytime soon. All right, I'll come back to this later. All right, let me go back to YM. Or we don't really need to go to YM because the orb is already hit. I'll let that breathe. All right, so we're back into the range right here, guys. Clean this up a little more. Yeah, there's nothing to take here right now at the moment, guys. All right, we got price pretty much just sitting down here. Not much going on. All right, we got price pushing back up. I'm still looking for those buys, guys. So I'm hoping we can get some opportunities here for a buy, but we just don't have anything here yet. All right, we just got a slow market here now, guys, like we mentioned. So this is market's kind of playing out exactly how I anticipated. Like I said earlier, I'm not really looking for trades until they break out of the supply zone right here. Otherwise, I think price is just kind of going to sit within this area. So like whenever price pushes past the supply zone, what I'm anticipating is price to fake out and pull back into the range. Same with price pushing below to the demand zone right here. It might push out of it a little bit, but I'm expecting it to pull right back into the range. Today looks like it's going to be a range bound day. Basically, it's back and forth throughout the day. There's just not enough volatility, and there's no catalyst really pushing price out of this area here. There's no news events for today. We have Powell speaking tomorrow, so tomorrow there's going to be a lot of volatility, but today there's just nothing going on. We had CB leading index, which was right here at 7 o'clock. It was negative. You can see right here when the news came out, it came up a little bit, then it came back down. And now again, it's kind of just sitting right here down the middle. So it's not exactly where I want it to be at the moment. Nothing wrong with this though, guys. It's early in the week, it's Monday, so I'm not looking to force any trades here. We have a whole week ahead of us, so it seems like this has kind of been the theme for this month. So if we look over here at my trades for for July. I haven't really taken trades on Monday. So if you look over here on Monday, it's pretty much been blank, right? On the 30th, I didn't take anything. On the 7th, I took one trade. It was a 10-point move, so it was just a partial. Yeah, last Monday on the 14th, didn't take anything. And today on the 21st, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I don't take anything today either. So we'll see. Um, but we'll, I'm not completely out of it yet. I'm still looking to see if there's any opportunity for me to take here. So again, if you guys didn't follow my trades last week was actually pretty good. We've been on a pretty nice win streak. I had a loss here on Friday, and then I took another trade after off the session, just a small one. Recouped a little bit of my trade, my loss there. So I pretty much closed. Either way, I would have closed the week green regardless of the fact. So I usually don't take anything after, but I just saw something that was really good, so I took it for a small entry, and I just pretty much recouped my loss there for a small profit. So my profits from last week was 83,770. For the month so far, 143,725. We've had some pretty good days. So like now that we're taking multiple trades, guys, you're gonna see a lot more green days here because we're able to balance out even if we have a loss for the day, right? So like for example, if I take a loss here, if the next trade hits, since I'm doing a 1 to 2, it's typically going to cover the trade and it's also going to put profit on top of it. So that's a nice thing there. So this month's been pretty good. We only have one red day for this month. This day was it was bad. It was a two back-to-back loss trade there. But other than that, everything else either balanced out or I just made straight profit for those days. For the year so far, this is currently my stats. So we're back in that upwards trajectory, right? So we had a nice upwards push right here from January up until April. Then the tariff news came out. I kind of had a break even for a couple months, and then we kind of slowed down right here up until July or June, July, and then started July here in June or middle of June, start of July. I started having this nice push to the upside. So we're back into having some nice winning trades right here. Not just winning trades, but winning days where the consistency is starting to pick back up. That's why for me, I'm not really too focused on taking anything here that's too risky. I'm just taking the stuff that really calls out to me. So if I see something that looks great, I'll take it. If it doesn't, then I'm not going to force any trades there. There's a possible opportunity here for a sell. Let's take a look at the overall trend again to see if there's any opportunities here to identify trend changes. Looking over here at the 1 minute, price is currently neutral. Price is in between the pivots. The trend meter is green. Pivots are going sideways. The 5 minute over here is also neutral. You can see prices in between the pivots. The trend meter is blue and the pivots are going sideways. And then lastly, over here on the 15-minute, price here is in between the pivots, slightly above it. The trend meter is green and the pivots are angling to the upside, but also to the sideways direction. So with that said, we have more of a bullish neutral bias with regard to the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15-minute here. So I don't see anything really super great here to take. Again, like I said, I'm going to be patient. If the trade isn't calling out to me, I'm not going to take the trade. I'm only going to take stuff here that looks very consistent and very solid for me to take here. The trend here isn't bearish, so I'm not really looking to take sells here. Also, on top of that, we have the opening price right here. So if you do want to take this as a high-low break and retest, I mean, feel free to take it. Otherwise, I would just stick to the sideways strategies. So again, guys, looking over here at my daily playbook, if you guys want to take the sideways strategies, the main ones to look for would be liquidity sweeps and V1 variations. So looks like there was a V1 variation right here. Quick little rejection off the quick low rejection off the supply zone right here. Basically a break and retest off the supply. Price came down, retested, V1 variation, entry right there for a sell, and price came down lower. Let's see, Sam W over here said has a buy around this price point. Yeah, Sam's also looking for buys. I mean, I don't blame you, Sam. I think buys here are more ideal. It goes in line with my bias for today. So for me personally, I'm not really looking to take sells here. I'm looking for buys. But in order for me to take buys, I need price to push a bit higher. I don't really want to trade within the supply zone down here. All right, the volatility here is kind of dead again. Price is now going sideways within this middle area. Looks like you guys did pretty good so far, though. Sam S locked in some pretty good profits. Chris also locked in some pretty good profits. Whoever took the orb there earlier, pretty nice wins all across the board. So solid work so far, guys. Man, I'm like kind of kicking myself for not taking more shares of Verizon on Friday. It's cool. I was playing it safe. Let's see how much I bought. I only spent a little bit on this. I thought I spent more. I only spent 3,393. Or no, sorry, 6,847. That's not bad. It's like less than like the risk was very, very minimal on that. Some of 5%. Not too bad. So I'll be getting at around 10%. So we got price pushing up higher, guys. With that said, so we had a high-low break and retest right here starting to set up. If you guys want to take this as your entry, I mean, feel free to take it. Again, like I said, this is a tricky area for me to be taking entries because for one, we're currently within the supply zone, and then there's also a red flag right here, which is going to be the sessions. But if you guys want to take it, this candle would have to pull back and fill within the next 20 seconds. If it doesn't fill within the next 20 seconds, you're supposed to cancel the order. So again, if you guys want to take this here as a high-low break and retest, entry would be right here at 44,678. If you guys want to take it, feel free. If you guys don't want to take it, I would just wait a little bit longer. Ideally, I'd be looking to take entries up here. Okay, so no fill right there. No fill right there for the high-low break and retest. The trend here is bullish again, guys. So the 1 minute's bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 15 minutes bullish. Everything here is bullish. So I'm looking to take that there or follow through with buys here, of course, if we do have that opportunity. Nice. Sam got out at 44,630, or he got in from at 44,630. He rolled this up. So Sam over here actually caught the sweep. There's another sweep level that was down here off the higher low. His was a little bit lower, but basically got in at opening price. And then he rode this up. Nice work, Sam. All right, we got price pushing up higher. The volatility is slightly picking up, but it's not super, super high yet. This 30-minute candle over here for YM is pretty strong. It's pushing off the value high. It's basically a break and retest right here off the value high. All right, we got price pushing up higher as we speak. This could start to set up for a possible MPSV2 for a buy if anybody's looking to take that. So we have a buy signal right here. We have a possible retracement if this candle closes red. Next candle, if it closes green, that'll be a possible MPSV2 for a buy. So we'll keep looking. No other entries here at the moment. Looks like both of the breakouts hit for today. So we took the original momentum breakout, hit for 50 points right there. So full TP 50 points for the regular breakout. Again, the orb over here, also full TP for 40 points right here for a sell. And then we had a couple entries over here for sweep, MPSV2, high-low break and retest. We have a new high right here. This high here hasn't been established yet. So until it's established, there's not going to be opportunity there for a high-low break and retest. At least not yet. All right, so this higher high just got pushed up higher. Like I said, it hasn't established yet. Until that high has been established, there's not going to be entry there yet. All right, so the high here just keeps getting pushed higher, guys. Um, Price is currently at this upper area. This is an MPSV2, which is currently active, guys, if anybody's looking to take that. It's still in the supply zone, so I'm not really looking to take anything here right now. I'm looking for price to get a little bit higher. It's not high enough for me right now. I need price to be a little bit higher so I can get out of this area. The last thing I want is for price to fake out around this area and pull back into the range, right? So not to say that this trade's not going to hit, but I do consider this to be a little bit of a risky trade. We have a higher high right here, but this is not going to be a high-low break and retest because the nearest high is going to be right here. So the only thing this higher high could be used for is for a sweep level, if you're looking to sweep from this point. Sam's in the position right here for 15 points. He's trying to aim for that quick 15-point push. Now, let's see. Hopefully he pushes up a little bit higher to hit your target right there, Sam. Yeah, Sam's a very controversial MPSV2. It's tricky because it's in the supply zone too right here. All right, so I was expecting there to be some manipulation at this point, which looks like there is. I was hoping this was going to push at least the Sam's 15 first, but it looks like we're starting to get that manipulation right there off the supply zone. See if it pushes up higher from here. Not in this position, guys. Again, I'm just waiting for opportunity here for anything to come up, really. I was looking for a possible high-low break and retest, which is going to be a little bit higher. So this high here is now established. So what you can look for here, guys, if you guys are looking to take an entry here. So for example, see how price pulled back a little bit? If it pulls back above right here, this could be a possible high-low break and retest from this area. The only thing is I don't like that it's in the supply zone. So this is, considered tricky for me because it would be in an area of manipulation, which is what I don't want, right? All right, this high is going to be at 44,733. The ATR is starting to get a lot lower. It's currently at 18 ATR, so you might get some consolidation range around this point. ATR is at 19. What I would say, guys, is focus on the ATR here. If this thing starts to get smaller, like below 19, then expect the market volatility to get slower, and you're just going to expect some sideways back and forth movement. Otherwise, if price breaks above it right here, this could be a possible opportunity for a high-low break and retest at the yeah, 44,733. I'm gonna look at where it looks like here on my chart. If it looks like a good setup, then I'll maybe be tempted to get into it, but I'm gonna follow it for a little bit to like make sure. It's not gonna be on this candle, it's probably gonna be on this next one. So I just need to follow this candle volatility, see if the volatility is actually there. If it's not there, then it's probably gonna be something to hold off of. But I'll watch it. Price here is trying to get past it. So again, if you guys want to take this as a high-low break and retest, high-low break and retest is going to happen right here at 44,733. You can see how price pushed up to this point, rejected directly off the level. It looks like it may have trouble getting past it. We got 20 seconds left on this candle right here. Price still hasn't really pushed above it, so I don't think there's going to be a setup here, at least not yet. If it does happen, it's going to be a very last second move. Yeah, that's exactly how it feels, Steven. All right, so we got nothing here right now, guys. Price is currently yeah, it's just in limbo right here. I don't know if your 15 points got hit right there, Sam. Let me see. Almost. It got really close though, bro. But like I said, price here is probably just gonna go sideways. A lot of back and forth movement here. Nice, nice. So Sam actually got out at break even. Smart move. Yeah, so we're getting a consolidation right here, guys. This is pretty much what I warned you guys about. Like, expect price to pretty much go into range of consolidation on this point. I mean, the big range is pretty big. This is going to be the big range, right? But there's going to be smaller consolidation within the big range. So we might get this big range to continue, or we might just get this smaller consolidation to go sideways down the middle. All right, so we'll see what happens here. Price has faked out. It's pulling back into this lower range now. All right, so it's doing exactly what we talked about, guys. Here goes a big range. Price pretty much pulls out, fakes out back into the range. Price pushes up, fakes out back into the range. So the key area here is whenever it fakes out, it pulls back into this middle range right here. Just a back and forth day today. A lot of back and forth movement. Best opportunity for entries here would really be sweeps, honestly. Because the sweep could have been taken right here off the supply zone. So right here, price pushed up. There could have been a sweep at multiple areas here. So I don't know if anybody else looked for the sweeps here, but there was a higher high right here. This could have been a sweep, right? To the downside. That's one sweep right there, 40 points. The other sweep would have happened right next to it, actually. This price came back and retested this higher high again. So price established the high, came down, retested it right there, and this would just be another sweep followed by. So again, like I mentioned earlier, guys, probably your best setups for today are going to be sweeps and V1 variations, mainly because the obvious, right? We're currently within this range right now. So if you look closely, I mean, price hasn't gone that far. Market open right here. This blue line is the opening price. If you measure where price is pushed from since here, it's only 50 points away, right? It's not very far at all. So yeah, not much there right now. All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we will just keep watching for what's to come. All right. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to be getting any entries for today, guys. I was really hoping to squeeze maybe one or two trades in today, but it's just not looking like it, which is fine. No need to force anything here. Again, price here is kind of slowing down. The volatility is currently pretty low. It's at 19 ATR. Again, if you see this ATR drop down to something lower, we're currently at 19.7. If this gets down to like 19 or even 18 or anything around there, then you're probably going to expect price to just go sideways for a while. Price has been going sideways for a bit, but it's probably going to go sideways even more. If you guys are just joining in, so a couple entries which came up for today. I didn't take these entries, but these are just entries that I called out. So we had the original breakout over here, hit 50 points for full TP for a sell right here. We had a 2-minute orb that came up over here for 40 points, full TP on that one. We had a couple entries over here, initial sweep right here. That was a full TP for 20 points. I mean, it probably could have went for a full 40, but because of the ATR at that point, ATR has been 20 since open. So this ATR hasn't really changed too much. We had a high-low break and retest right here, an MPS V2, and then a couple sweeps right here off this upper level. Other than that, nothing much here to look at. Sam's looking for a sweep at 44,626. 44,626. Oh yeah. Well, it's pretty far off, like down here. But if it does get to this point, yeah, I can see that happening. We have the liquidity level right there. It's also going to line up with the opening price. So that's kind of what we might get, and I could expect that to happen as well. So possible push to the downside right here, and then sweep off the opening price and the liquidity right back up to there. So yeah, I'm with you with that on that one, Sam. I'll keep watching it with you. That's if price actually gets that low, right? I don't know if price will even get that low. This might just sit within this middle area here. Clean this up a little bit. New low right there. Yeah, not much. I mean, I'm pretty happy with my profits for the month so far. That's why, again, I'm not really looking to force anything here. I'm starting to take higher risk, guys, so I'm increasing the contract sizes specifically on my personal account. So you can see my profits here are starting to get a little bit bigger. I started trading my personal account again, so you're going to see more profits here than usual. And yeah, for the month so far, currently up 143. So, I mean, if I close out at 143 for the month, I'm perfectly fine with that. But obviously, I'm going to keep trying to lock in more if possible. All right. So we have price here pushing up a little more. All right. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. 7:42 right now, guys. We're getting closer to 8 o'clock. My cutoff for trading is 8 o'clock, of course. I don't think we're going to get much of a move until then. So, I mean, I'm probably not going to take anything myself. If you guys do want to take something, of course, I'll mark it up for you guys as they come up. But right now, I just don't see anything here at the moment. If anything, I'll be looking for a possible high-low break and retest. Um, maybe above here, but not really sure if we're going to get that there. As you guys can see, the price here is it's kind of lagging behind right now. My Verizon trade's looking good though. Yeah, this thing's still pushing up pretty nice. My $44 target up there. So I'm currently at 5%. If I get up to here, I'll probably be up, way above 10% for the day. And I'll probably just pull out of that 44. Otherwise, I'll hold on to it. I don't think there's any other earnings for this week that I'm really looking at. Let's see. I'm gonna check that real quick while we hang out and see if there's any earnings that I can jump into this week. I think there's like one more that might be looking for. My All right, so if you guys are looking to take high-low break and retest, the next high is going to be up here. There's a pending high right here, but if it pushes up to this point, this could be the possible opportunity for it. right, add this in over here. July 21 to 25. So this is what I'm in right now. I'm in Verizon. Hmm. Domino's is today too, but it's too late. So I'm all done with Monday. Tuesday, EPS is like 86, 84 points. Pre-market, I'll take a look at Coke. Alphabet could be good. Tesla, of course, never fails. I have Intel as well. Thursday, I'm probably hold on to this for a little bit. Hmm. Okay. So if you guys are looking at trade stocks or like trade the earnings, these are going to be I'm already in Verizon right here. I'm up about 5, 6%, trying to get out around 10, 15. Other next one I'll be looking at is probably Coca-Cola. It's going to be on Tuesday, so I'd have to get into that by today. I don't know if I'll be able to get into that 70. All right, so we're still looking over here, guys, for any entries here. I'm just going to do my own analysis on these stock earnings before. Let's see. I do a deeper analysis of Coca-Cola real quick. Coca-Cola Company, ticker KO, as of today, July 21st, 2025. EPS estimate is okay, so Coke's been pretty decent. Okay, so it's usually up about 10%. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm just doing my own side analysis over here for Coke. So I'm probably gonna jump into this for tomorrow. Let me see. EPS is usually around Thursday. Probably expect it to push around 50 cents. See, resistance is at 72. And I'm gonna support at 68. So, guys, like what I've told you guys before, like, the strategies that I apply, they work on all assets. So depending on like what you want to trade, I mean, you can trade it on anything really. Support, I mean, you can trade it on stocks, currencies, futures, whatever you feel like trading. For me personally, I'm trading this with earnings. So I'm not really trading based off the day trading strategy. It's more of a swing trading type strategy here. All right, let me see. I'm gonna buy about 16,000 of Coke shares. There's nothing here for YM. YM is still pushing up. If you guys want to take this here as an entry for YM, um, there could be a possible high-low break and retest right here. Like I said earlier, guys, this is a tricky place to be trading. For one, the ATR is really low. It's currently at 17 ATR. So this here is not exactly going to be the best time to be taking entry. I think price will probably just consolidate and go sideways. But if you guys are looking to take an entry here, you can look for price to break and retest off this lower high. So currently at 44,716. That's where the nearest high-low break and retest could likely happen. So let me go over here real quick. What other earnings do I have for this week? Alphabet. I think this Alphabet's super expensive. I don't know if I'll be able to buy into Alphabet. I mean, it's not super expensive, but it's a little too high. Tesla. I'm probably buying into some Tesla here. All right, so let's see. Buy into some Coke. I'm gonna look at Coke's long term. 70 looks like it could be good. All right, looking back at YM, guys, I don't think this is a good time to take any entries, guys. So like now that I see this here, we have like it's literally just consolidating sideways right now. There's not really too much going on back and forth right here. So I personally don't think it's really worth it. But if you guys want to take it, I mean, feel free to take any entries there. Let me see how much I could buy from this. So Coke, I'm buying at 70, so 142 shares. It's not even worth it, dude. Make 71 bucks on a 50 cent push. $2 actually. Okay, so let's see. Mm, I don't know. It's a problem with buying into like these cheaper stocks. They don't move enough to really make a lot of money on them. Hold on the Alphabet to 200. 1,000 divided by my buy-in would be around, yeah, 188. Yeah, 85 shares. Yeah. It's either gonna be Google or Tesla. I might not even mess with Coke. Right, Tesla I could buy in at Three. Select 320. 25. I divided by 325. 49 shares. Hmm. Might as well just go heavy on Tesla here. All right, well, let's go back to YM. So, guys, looking at YM right here, if you're looking to take a high-low break and retest, there's going to be a possible sell entry right here setting up. I wouldn't really recommend on taking sells here because the overall trend here is still very bullish, right? So, there's not really much of a bias for a sell at the moment. If you guys want to take this here, I mean, feel free, but I wouldn't recommend it. Looking over here for buys, though, if you're looking for a buy to come up here, you can look for price to possibly break and close above this area, retest, and push up higher from that point. But like I said, the volatility here is very low. We're currently at 15 ATR. So yeah, I'd be a little smarter about this, but there's not really much going on here. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. We're about 4 minutes till 8 o'clock, guys. I don't think there's going to be any entries from now until then. Yeah, Shiv said, Shaunix, it seems like a no trade day like you did with the MPS. Can you list the criteria for the high-low scalp and so the criteria for it is you're just looking for the closest high-low. Like you need to have and this is going to be tough for for you to backtest unless you have the high-low indicator because the thing is like you can identify different high lows, but they're not going to line up with 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 them, but it just in general, you're looking for the closest high-low. So for example, here, if you're looking for a high-low break and retest, you're not going to look at this one because this isn't the most recent high-low, right? You're looking for this one right here. So if you're looking for a high-low break and retest, your first criteria is to look for price to break and retest or break and close past the nearest high-low, and then the retest, and that's where your entry is going to happen from. So I mean, it's a simple break and retest off a high-low. That's really what it is. Um, and you're only going to be looking at the most recent high-low. So you're not looking at anything past it. Yeah, just to put things as simple as possible, you're looking for a break and retest off the nearest high-low. Um, there's obviously going to be different criterias when you're looking at confluences. So like obviously you want to look for the overall trend, but I mean if you're going to backtest it, it's going to be kind of hard to look at overall trend unless you're using something like the trend meter because you can kind of see it as it comes up. But like looking at multiple charts here, it's going to be hard for you to see what the overall trend is looking like. So the basic gist of the strategy is really just going to be a high-low break and retest off the nearest higher of the low. But for me, I'm using different confluences. So I'm using the overall trend. I'm using my overall bias for whatever I have for the day or for the week. I'm looking at red flags to avoid. So there's a lot of filters for me to use. But if you just want to look at the basics of the strategy, you're going to see a lot of entries come up. But obviously, you're going to have to filter it out because there's going to be too many entries. Yeah, there's just it's going to be impossible for you to backtest it. Honestly, I try to backtest it myself, but it just it's impossible because there's too many things to look at. Like you can only look at I mean you can, like don't get me wrong, you can, but it's going to be really hard for you to have, something like this open and then also testing entries there and then also looking at red flags, looking at supply and demand because this is a big thing here, right? The supply and demand. Like I think this here would be almost impossible for you to mark up unless you look at every daily outlook for the day. Because you have to go up, mark up the supply and demand for the day, and then look for the red flags and stuff like that. If you were to just test the strategy by itself, I think you'll have pretty good results because it's a classic break and retest pattern, right? It's not a groundbreaking strategy. This is a strategy that's been around for years. Like people have been applying these strategies for forever. It's just for me, I added filters to it so that you can, we have a higher win rate. So yeah, I don't think it's really necessary to back test the high low break and retest because it's a basic pattern, right? Like it's just a normal break and retest. But because I use these filters, I use the overall trend, I use my daily bias, I use my weekly bias, I use my monthly bias, and then I also use supply and demand zones, and obviously the red flag sessions, etc. That's why I'm able to pinpoint the trades that are like very high quality. So that's weird. So I'm on Zoom right now. It's asking me to confirm my speaking language. It looks like someone put that I was speaking in Dutch, which I'm not. English, of course. Say that. Yeah, if you want to review it, Shiv, you can go back and just rewatch the previous live sessions. I think that's going to be the best option because you can identify, like I'll be analyzing it and you can see the entries come up. So I would say if you want to go back and just review it, just go back and watch the previous live sessions. You can just fast forward through them too. You can look at like what I'm looking for, but it's the same pattern. You're just looking for the most recent high low. You're looking for price to break and retest. This is actually a high low break and retest right here. It's 8 o'clock though, so obviously I wouldn't take this trade, but this is a high low break and retest currently running in profit. This is also a MPSV2 as well. So this is an MPSV2 running alongside a high-low break and retest. Looks like Sam over here caught it. He got out at 15. Yeah, because the ATR here is so low. So Sam decided to just get out right there at the 15. Nice work, Sam. All right, solid work, guys. Let's see. I'm gonna try to buy some Tesla here for earnings. Kind of curious to see what the buy 21, 25. So I'm looking for key areas here for me to buy Tesla stock. So let's see. This is where the levels indicator would come in handy. 325. I'm just gonna average into these Tesla stock and buy 16,000 in Tesla. Okay, let's see. 325. So 325 times. I'll buy increments of 10 shares or maybe 15 shares. All right, cool. If anybody's looking at, so this is my plan for this week, guys. I'm gonna be averaging into Tesla. The earnings are on Wednesday. Oh, fuck. We'll have to buy into them pretty quickly then. Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it, and I'm gonna just average into the entry here. I'm gonna try to get some right there, and then possibly I gotta buy all of it by tomorrow. So yeah, if anybody's interested. So I'm gonna try to get in right there, and then I'm gonna try to get it out at 60. Yeah, I'll probably hold on to it for a little bit, and then I'll probably so my I'm looking to make a couple $1,000 off Tesla here. depending on how many shares I get. I'm gonna average in, so probably get in right there, and then possibly right there. I'm just buying shares, guys. I'm not trading options. So like I'll buy in and then if it, if whatever happens, happens, I'll just hold on to it. We do have earnings this Wednesday. EPS estimate is 0.39 cents. Quarter one was actually really bad, but we'll see. All right, guys. Looks like the trade here is still running. If you guys are in this position for YM, again, like I said earlier, once it reaches 30 points, you probably want to move your stop loss and profit, or even earlier because the ATR is super low now, guys. ATR is currently at 13. This is definitely not a time to be trading. If you guys don't have to trade anything, I mean, feel free to not take anything because there's just no point. But I think that's about it. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, it's after 8 o'clock now, so we're past my trading time, and I'm ready to wrap this up for the day. So, all right, guys. Again, if you guys have any profits to post up, feel free to send them in the Discord. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on the Discord. But other than that, I think that's about it. So, all right, guys, gonna wrap this up for the day. Didn't take any entries for myself. If you guys did see what else we took, the momentum entry did come up over here for full TP for 50 points. Looking over here at the orb for today, the orb also hit over here for 40 points. Then we had a couple entries here throughout the day hit as well. We had a sweep over here, break and retest, MPSV2, sweep, and then another high-low break and retest plus MPSV2 right here, which is currently running in profit. Again, if you guys are in this position, I do highly recommend moving your stop loss and profit once it reaches about 30 points. Otherwise, you can let it run to the full 40. But ATR is super low, so you're probably going to see this go sideways for a bit. And I think that's it. So nice work, Sam. Yeah, Sam said thanks for today. 5 wins, 1 loss, or 1 break even. And he's done for the day.